Hi, my name is Christopher Cheney, and I wrote my midterm essay project on the Qin Dynasty. Going into this, I had little to no prior knowledge on the Qin Dynasty. I only knew two things, and it was they were the first dynasty, and they were also the shortest tenured dynasty. They only lasted for about 15 years. With that being said, I didn't really have any opinions or anything. I was kind of going in almost blind, I would say. Um, but I learned a lot with my research that I used for my essay. Um, my only assumption that I had was that since they were the first dynasty, things probably weren't going to be smooth. Because they're still trying to figure everything out because there was nobody before them. They don't really have a foundation to go after or anything like that. They had to build their own government, economy, culture, stuff like that. And that's hard. That's really hard. But they succeeded in some things, and it was great while it lasted. One of the things that they were very successful in was their centralized government that they created, and pretty much what that means is that they have one person at the very top who has all control over everything, which was their emperor. So he had control over everything, but he had people below him that would kind of run it, but he was like the main person. The people who wrote the laws were called scribes, and their laws during the Qin Dynasty were very strict. If you were to break a minor law, you would more than likely become a slave. And being a slave during that dynasty was pretty much just the Great Wall. You would work on the Great Wall, and it would just be hard manual labor. But the centralized government, it carried, and it was kind of it was a foundation for future dynasties to come, and some of them used it, and it worked out for them. Another thing that they were very successful in was their construction. So during the Qin Dynasty, they started the construction of the Great Wall, and they also constructed canals that was used for military strategies and everything like that, and also the Qin Mausoleum, which was pretty much just like the tomb for when the emperor passed away, and it was guarded by 8,000 over. It was a little over 8,000 clay figures, and it was kind of just like soldiers, horses, carriages, stuff like that, and it was just to protect them during the afterlife. And it was really weird. They were called the Terracotta Army, and it's a very historical site today. Same with the Great Wall. So they've definitely succeeded in those two things. The one thing I will say is that they were very strict, and I did not agree with some of the things that they did. They were kind of separated. The way their government worked was the higher ups had all the power, and the working class and the peasants had no power. So it was kind of corrupt in a way, to the point where none of the citizens had anything to do with what happened, which probably isn't the best way to run a government. And also, their emperor, he banned religion, and he banned it because he did not want the people to try to rebel against the government, and he thought that that was the best way to do it, was to ban religion, which was a very interesting choice. But yeah, after after doing all the research and writing this essay, probably wasn't a great dynasty to be a part of if you weren't one of the higher ups, but that's just my opinion.